Hello, you beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of The Soulful Self. My name is Hannah, and today I am going to give you a little life update, which has been requested. The last time I told you guys what was going on, I was in Bali. I wasn't planning on coming back to Canada until March. And in the last 6 weeks, my life has completely done. Uh, let's just say I am not exactly where I am now. I am not exactly where I thought I would be now. If you ask me what I would be doing January 28th, I would not have said I am in my hometown, but I have learned, if I have learned anything on my journey, it's that the universe likes to remind you that you are not in control. And even though you sometimes make plans, other things happen, and you kind of just have to learn to honor and go with the flow and trust the plan and surrender, because it makes a lot of sense what has unfolded for me in the last 6 weeks, but it's definitely not what I was expecting. So I will share my story with you guys because I have learned a lot, grieved a lot. I have never cried so much in my entire life, but I am feeling okay again. My feet are now beneath me once again. I feel stable, and I have processed enough emotions to share this story. If I would have tried to talk about what happened before, I would not have made it through without crying. So I needed some time to sit with myself and process what happened. And now that I can see the bigger, brighter picture that has unfolded in front of me, I feel a lot more confident and able to share my story. So I always want to be so open with you guys about all my experiences and everything that I learn from my own journey, because if I have gone through something, if I have suffered and learned and grown because of it, chances are there is somebody else out there who has gone through or is going through something similar. And and when you are in a time of pain, knowing that you're not alone can be so amazing to help you through that and move on to a place where you are confident and stronger and more outgoing, and know that what's next for you is what's meant for you. So essentially, when I left for Bali, my plan was to go for 2 months, and then I was supposed to meet my now ex-boyfriend in Thailand and travel the rest of Southeast Asia with him until March, when we were going to come back to Canada. And we had this whole future planned, not just this trip, but of where we were going to travel and move and live and do. And we had already lived together for a month before I left, and we had a relationship that was moving full speed ahead because we were both so on board. It seemed like everything we had both been looking for. I thought he was the man of my dreams, everything I've ever asked for. He checked all these boxes that I had literally written down on a piece of paper, and I was like, this is it. The universe sent me the love of my life. I'm going to be a mom, and I would not have really had to have worked for the rest of my life if I didn't want to. I would have been provided for, and all these things, traveling the world, all these things was like, wow, this is so amazing. Almost too good to be true, which I don't believe that it was too good to be true, but there was one thing that we did not agree on, and a part of me was willing to make a compromise. I thought maybe this is my lesson from the universe, don't be so stubborn and learn to compromise. And I was open to it. I can see things from your side if you can see things from my side, and we land somewhere in the middle. But it turns out that this is not something that I am willing to compromise on. And deep down inside, I had this gut feeling that I could never do that. And I just am so glad that I am so glad that this happened now that I'm on the other side of it, because I never want to have to do that. We were fighting about vaccines, and I know this is a controversial topic and I don't need to get into it, but I don't want to vaccinate my children. I don't think that it's necessary. I think that I will be a good enough mother and my kids will have strong enough immune systems, and that, you know, that there's a lot of lies out there. So that's just my opinion. That's my gut feeling. That's just something that I've always felt so strongly about. And I have mostly all my vaccines because I went to nursing school. Thank God I didn't have to get the COVID vaccine, but I had to get every other vaccine made before. So, anyway, I think it's really important that, like, when you start a relationship, especially if you're in a phase of your life where you want marriage, you want kids, you want these big things, and you're old enough for that to be a realistic thing that's happening, that you need to have these conversations of, do you want kids? How many kids? Where do you want to live? What do you want to do? How do you want to spend your money? What are goals that you want to have? Are you going to vaccinate your children? Do you want to homeschool? Do you want to have home births? Do you want to do all these things that people have strong opinions about? Because you can't raise a child with somebody who has super opposing views from you. And that was literally the only thing that we did not see eye to eye on, but we both were not willing to, I guess, let it go. But so I'm in Bali having the time of my life, and I knew something was going on. I felt intuitively this shift happen in the energy between us, and I kept asking him, and he kept saying it's fine, until I got to the point where we didn't talk for like 3 days, and I said, that is not okay. I'm by myself in a foreign country, and I was like, spill it. I know something's wrong. Like, you need to tell me what's happening. He broke up with me and just said, like, this isn't going to work, whatever. And I felt like my entire world fell out from underneath my feet, because I had this whole vision of our future together, and I thought like we were going to have children, and I thought I was going to be a mom, and I was so excited. I feel like I felt my kids' souls like being so close, like, it wasn't much time before they would come. And so not only was I grieving this relationship, I was grieving the loss of my children in a way. Not that they won't find their way here with the right person, but I just felt their energy so close. Like, I literally met one of my children at ayahuasca, and I was like, oh my God, like, it'll be, a year, 2 years, and he'll be here. And so that was a lot. My nervous system completely shut down. I have never cried so much in my life. I didn't eat. I could not sleep. I could feel every nerve ending in my body. I felt like so fuzzy. I didn't know what to do. I called my family. I talked to my dad, and he said to wait 24 hours before you make a decision. And if you want to come home, come home, because that's something really hard to go through by yourself. All the friends that I had made in Bali had already left or moved on to somewhere else, and my friends that came to see me in Bali had already gone home. So all I wanted was a hug, and for somebody to tell me that it was going to be okay, and that to not be alone in that moment, because I was literally alone and so far away from everyone I've ever loved. So it was also really difficult because I didn't really get any closure. I still don't know the full story of what happened, and I probably never will. I'll never see him again, which is strange. And the last time I ever saw him, I didn't know was going to be the last time I saw him, and that feels so weird when you love somebody so much and so deeply like we did. Like, I was so in love, and to just have that knife in the heart, like, this is done, there's nothing I can do about it, I can't even see him and have a conversation with him face to face. And that was so difficult. To come home, I literally cried the entire way home. I cried on the airplane. I had a mental breakdown in the Vancouver airport because my flight got delayed in Singapore and I knew I was going to miss my layover. They let me through security. I ran like a fucking movie scene from security to the farthest gate where my flight was, and the plane had literally just pulled out, and the people at security told me they were waiting for me, and I ran there, and they're like, "We security doesn't work for the airline," and I had to wait an extra 4 hours in the Vancouver airport, and I just wanted to be home so bad. So I'm like trying to do work on my computer while I'm in the airport, and I'm just crying, and I just like keep having to go lock myself in the bathroom and let myself cry. And I was so tired because I didn't sleep my 14-hour flight because I'm like overstimulated and watching movies and just crying. Like, the person beside me was probably like, what the fuck is going on with this girl? So finally, I got back to Edmonton, and my sister picked me up and her baby, and it felt so good to like have a familiar face and be able to hug them. Our dad met us for supper, and it took me a long time. Like, I knew being home was going to be difficult because, you know, my sisters are married and they have kids, and I know, like, deep down, that's something that I so want to experience in this life. I can't wait to be a mom. I really hope that I get to have that experience. I know I will one day, and I did think that it was almost here, and I felt like that alone made me feel like I was on cloud nine, and that was gone in an instant. So that was really difficult. And then to be, you know, home for the holidays, and I'm like the only person in my family who is not married and has kids. Like, I actually think I'm the last cousin to get married, other than my two cousins in Australia that are like, one's still in high school. So I yeah, it was difficult and like good to see everybody, but hard to be home and alone because I'm never alone. I'm not alone. I know I'm surrounded by so much love, but in that experience, like, I had to feel that sense of being alone and reminding myself that I'm not. And like, that's just something that you can so easily get trapped in when you're experiencing heartbreak. But I learned so much from this experience, and now I can look back and reflect from our relationship things that maybe should have been more of a red flag, things that I should have noticed and just chose to overlook because I was in love and I was excited and I thought we were going to travel the world together and it was like a dream come true. And I also think I would have essentially been a stay-at-home mom, which is kind of the dream, but I have this drive, this feeling so deep inside that I am here to do something, to teach, to have this career in some way where I am making an impact in the world. And I think that it's where my energy needs to be focused before I can have that. I need to have the foundation, I need to have the education, I need to have the structure in place to build that before I get to be a mom, because I know I'm going to put every single ounce of my love into being a mom. And if I don't have this baby built first, I will lose that. And I think what that is going to do for the world is more important than my dream of being a mom being fulfilled right now in this moment, or else it would be. And here I thought I wasn't going to get emotional because I've been doing so much work around this, but you know, I'm here to honor it because sometimes we make these plans and we have these dreams, and the universe will just knock you on your ass and you're like, what the fuck was that about? What did I do to deserve that? Why did that happen? And it can be so easy to look at that experience and just be like, fuck you, I give up. Why do I do any of this? Like, and I think half of the reason or a biggest part of this test is like to get up and try again, to reevaluate, to make decisions from this point of being like, you know what? He actually wasn't everything that I wanted, because the actual dream partner who is I am going to spend the rest of my life with, I don't have to compromise on big things like vaccinations, and I don't have to compromise on anything because we're on the same team, we're on the same page, we're on the same vibration. And I really thought that my ex was spiritual. I met him at a spiritual retreat. I thought, wow, what a gift. But it was honestly kind of a lie. I think it was kind of a facade that he put on, because the deeper that he got to see that part of me, I think it scared him. And I don't want to be with somebody that's scared of that part of myself, because that part of myself is the part of myself that I love the most, and that I know like holds the wisdom and the passion and drive to be this version of me that I have this vision for, that I try to hold space for and allow myself to step into this power that is scary and overwhelming. And it can be a lot, feeling like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders with this mission of helping humanity and healing not only yourself but others, because I look around and I see how broken things are. The system, there's 100 things I could list, and we're in this turning point. The truth is coming out. People are waking up. It was bound to happen, and like, my soul chose to be here right now in what is going to be the fucking craziest part of history that humanity has ever experienced. And I chose to be here right now. And Bali was such an important part of this shift for me, because I got to go to a third world country. These people are so poor, they have nothing, but they are so happy because we don't need all this stuff. We're in North America, we're in this rat race. Who can have the bigger boat? Who can have the nicer house? Who can have the nicer car? Who can have this? Who can have that? Our consumerism is like so bad that we're destroying this whole planet, and we're miserable because we work way too many hours. We don't make enough money to try to keep up with the Joneses. They're poisoning our food. Like, how I could go on forever. And what I saw in Bali was like this glimmer of hope that my soul knew so deep inside that was possible, of living in community and seeing that they all have each other, they help each other, they are so loving with one another, and they pray together and they do ceremonies together. And there was so many beautiful healing experiences that I had there, that not only did I need for my own journey to heal and grow and expand, but also inspiration of things that I hope to create one day. And they say that the island of Bali is its own spirit, and there's a contract that you have with that island. And if you get to go, when you get to go, how long you get to go is up to the island. And I think it's so interesting because if you listen to my last episode of my life update when I was in Bali, I was told by a monk these gods that were here to work with me, and one of them was Ganesh, who was the remover of obstacles. And it was right after I had this experience that I felt this shift with my ex, and he got removed from my life. And I'm looking at it like he would have been a block. He would have stopped me from doing what I need to do. And, you know, that's not important. All these things that he had, this, you know, fancy carrot he was dangling in front of me of these promises of this life, that he did not follow through on any of them, which is fine because I wouldn't be where I am now. And I come home from Bali and a reminder of my family, and that they are always there for me. And that's just something that if you would have told me that 10 years ago, I would have told you were wrong. And to see how much we have all grown with each other and how my sense of family and understanding each and every person in my family for who they are and understanding why they are the way they are and not getting frustrated with them as much as possible because we are a family, that's bound to happen. But then I realized like I have this sense of community, and I know I don't want to live here anymore. I know it's not where I'm going to end up, but it was such a beautiful reminder to know that like I always have a place to come when I need to. That there's always people there to catch me if I fall, and sometimes we just need to know that before we do really scary things, because we're like, okay, I'm going to try this and it might absolutely fail, but I know that there's 7 people behind me that are going to pick me back up and dust me off. So let's try anyway. And when I came back home, I decided that I am going back to school to become a holistic practitioner. And this is not something that I would have done in Bali. And I think I would have already been on a plane back to Bali if I didn't make this decision. But now that I work from my computer and also am in school from my computer, I full time have no time in the day to do anything else but maybe go to the gym and eat. And I've been taking care of my grandma for the last couple weeks, just making sure she's got lunch and supper. And my day is done. I run out of time. If I even want to do lymphatic drainage at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I now only have 7.5 hours to sleep. I don't know why time works so differently in different places, but if you don't believe that, maybe you haven't done enough psychedelics. I don't know, but there's just something about time in this town that sucks my freaking time and energy like a vampire, and I have a really hard time. So I know it is almost time for me to go from here, but this time here has been important for me in integrating and getting my feet back underneath me and healing my nervous system from a complete malfunction. And I got redirected in my path, and I love traveling. I learned so much from traveling. I am grateful for every fucking moment. Like, I spent 6 weeks in Bali, and if you would have told me this last January, like, hey Hannah, you're gonna spend 6 weeks in Bali this year, I would have said there's literally no way that's gonna happen. But it did, because the universe is always on my fucking side, and when I need to do something and when I need to go somewhere, I go there and I do it, and the universe will move fucking mountains or break up with boyfriends for me, because I wasn't going to make that decision, even when deep, deep, deep down I knew I probably should have. But I will not settle. I cannot settle, because I have this feeling, this inner knowing of like what I'm here to do, and I think it's more important than me pausing that to travel right now. And I have my whole life to travel. I'm traveling again. I'm going to Hawaii in March. And I think that there will be little opportunities for me throughout my whole rest of my life to keep traveling. And it doesn't need to be some thing where it's only for a season of my life. I don't know why I had that so stuck in my brain for a moment. But now that I'm in school and working, I don't know where I'm going to go, what I'm going to do, what is next. I'm literally taking it one day at a time, which has been kind of fun. Really trusting the universe's plan for me, and just knowing that like some crazy shit is going down, is about to go down, is about to unfold for me. I'm trying to work as much as I can, but also do school as much as I can, so that I'm not in a rush to learn, because I don't want to rush through the importance of what I'm learning. But I need to have this fire under my ass to get it done, because I know how many people I will be able to help with this education that I'm learning. And I'm so grateful that I'm being pushed down this path. So the last 6 weeks have been an emotional roller coaster. I did not think I would be in Canada in the winter, and my skin is not loving me for it. Another reason why I know I don't need to live here, because my body always reacts poorly when I'm here, and I just know that's a sign that it's time to go. But I am soaking in what time I have left here with my family. and I'm got my head down. I've been in a cocoon. I have not seen anybody other than family members since I've been home. I've been tucked away. I don't want to be social. I don't want to go out. I don't want to do anything. I'm literally in bed by 10 p.m. And if I'm not, I'm like mad at myself for not being in bed by 10 p.m. and waking up early. And I'm like, who am I? Like, I used to DJ and I was never even home before 10 p.m. So it's kind of crazy how much your life can just shift and change in such a short amount of time. But I wanted to give you guys an update. I did have a special request, and I did feel I owed you guys the rest of this story because a lot has happened, and I did kind of go MIA for a moment. So I'm so sorry about that, but I was so sad, and I really needed some time to let my emotions regulate and honor that season of letting go. And now, I can see that this was redirection, that healing through this heartbreak makes me even stronger. It's up to my standards of what I want in a relationship even more, and I'm not willing to compromise because I'm so good on my own that I don't need to be with somebody, but I know that I want to be in a partnership. I know that I want to get married and I want to have kids. But I think because I've had to spend so much time alone and I've worked on myself and I know so much about myself and that I'm okay on my own. Like the universe is here to support me and provide for me, and I don't actually physically need somebody to do it for me. I don't get me wrong, it is nice when it happens. I got spoiled, okay? And I will never take that for granted that I got a free phone. But um I don't need that to be happy. I don't need that in a relationship. I don't need that at all. I have that on my own, and I think that puts me in like a powerful position when it comes to dating because I'm like, I don't need you. I don't need you. I'm not coming from a place of lack. I'm coming from a place of, hi, this is me. This is what I have to offer. And like, love it or leave it, really, because I'm not out here searching and like feeling this sense of need because I'm good on my own. And I think that was an important reminder that I needed. So, anyway, this is my life update. I didn't realize you guys liked this kind of episode so much, so maybe every couple months I'll give you a life update, especially when a lot of crazy shit hits the fan. But I love each and every one of you. I am really excited for what is coming in this year. I don't believe that the new year starts until the first day of Aries season. So for me, we're still in the year 9. We are closing the chapters. We are all about endings, shifting into that new beginning energy here. But we have Aquarius and Pisces season to go through first, and they're coming in hot. Okay, we're into Aquarius season. I have an Aquarius moon. I always feel this a lot. Time for some revolution, baby. Time for some changes to be made and being your weird, true, authentic self doing it. So did not think I was going to cry on this episode, but here we are. And this was real and raw and authentic and a really big part of my life over the last 6 weeks. So that's all for now. I'll talk to you next week and I love you. Bye.